Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, I'm John, this is Many a Truder, welcome back to Empire Total War, where last time we had victory and defeat. France has been defeated. Hooray for France, which we also don't have to deal with, because I immediately gave it to Britain. And seriously, good luck with your land border with Spain, land border with Italy, and Mediterranean port that's going to be attacked by everybody. Rather you than me, Britain. Though that's not to say we haven't got problems. My old dearest friends Hanover have been eaten by Prussia. Meaning today, we need to go and teach Prussia a lesson. Because seriously, Prussia are scary in this game. They've got perhaps the strongest military in the entire game, to the extent that they are at war with everybody on all sides, and they just don't care. They keep winning anyway. So we've got to put a stop to that. Meanwhile, over in the Caribbean, I only just noticed Spain has done as Britain once did and eaten their former protectorate. Spain now exerts direct control over the vast majority of Central and South America, meaning, yeah, they're now a lot stronger than they were. We need to start figuring out how we're gonna fight this. The only advantage being, if we're lucky, British America will now fight Spanish America. So, live in hope on that front. And at the same time, of course, it wouldn't hurt to keep training troops. More and more and more troops in South America, ready to swing round the corner as soon as my bloody Indian fleet arrives. It's been at sea a few turns, might show up soon, we live in hope. Still, for the time being, just make sure we're ready to put the pressure on Prussia. And with, yes, the economy looking pretty good, I can afford to slightly expand and reinforce the navy, because, gonna be honest, I still don't 100% trust, yes, Sweden. This navy looks scary, but plenty of it is kinda trash. Plus, more and more ships means more and more raiding income. The more ships you've got, the more you can raid. Because right now, yes, the base for other is 3 grand. We're making a grand over that. Now, there might not be entirely piracy. Some of that can be diplomatic deals too. You don't get a proper breakdown of what's in there. But, yeah, we're making some good money by just robbing Prussia right now. So that's the pressure by sea, but we've also got the pressure by land, because, yes indeed, Westphalia is chill, with me just walking through their territory, so, Prussia, lads, me and you need to have a chat. The downside is, of course, I'm going in completely bloody blind. I don't have spies, agents, anything. I don't know what's ahead. I do have one agent over here, but honestly, I'd rather he just kept an eye on Austria. If Austria start moving towards my territory, I want to know about it. And I probably want to start training up some new troops just in case they start getting stupid. So, alright, you know what? Tiny bit more in the way of cannons as well. Just some cannons, some cavalry, some infantry. Just in case. Though yes, Stuttgart here are allied with Austria, so they can just walk straight across this territory. I'm kinda hoping this army will just naff off over here and retake Munich at some point. Because while I can't see precisely what's going on, a lot of stuff does appear to be on fire, so there's definitely some trouble. The Prussian fleet has been holding steady. Probably it knows it can't really deal with me. So, time to see if the army responds to my presence, because they can see me coming. Okay, here we go. Reinforcements just arrived, and some more are heading north, not joining up to us. No, are joining up. Okay, they're bringing in more and more and more. They want to make something of this, and I can see here, because you can always see along your trade routes, which is absolutely lovely. Okay, Swedish Navy is heading, yeah, east, possibly to deal with something to do with Russia. Not sure about that, but pretty peaceful turn, all things considered. There's the Italian state. Those guys are cool. Alright, leave them alone. Don't cause trouble with them. They will deal with pirates for you, which is brilliant. And Westphalia seems to be pretty well defended for now. Don't need to worry about them. Oh dear, we've got ourselves a bit of a maybe problem here. Because I'm a republic, there's actual elections, and my government apparently just lost. Which means I've got a whole bunch of new idiots who might be terrible at their jobs, but to be honest, they look pretty competent, all things considered. Basically, just pick the worst person and fire them. And precisely as bad. Brilliant. Okay, get the Justice Minister, who's pretty good, over to America. Justice is simply not that important in my territories at the moment. Treasury appears to be, yeah, the joint most competent person. It is a reasonable if unspectacular cabinet. Obiter will say, here's the victory we've got right now. The new president is actually very skilled indeed. Him I think you can't swap out, but that leads to a big increase in diplomatic relations. This guy could be very helpful in normalizing relations with Austria and Sweden. Okay, let's try this again, which is, yes, the incredibly badly battered Indiaman. Let's try and find you a nice resource node that doesn't have any pirates on it in a perfect world. And we nice and safe. There we go. That one will do. This is only like one ship. So there we go. That is now shipping 560 all by itself. And if I can just keep pirates under control, that is, oh, that's nice. I mean, on this trade line right now there is, okay, that's 5 grand, but that's up and down. Like, this being 500 by itself is pretty significant. Over in the East Indies, each one of these nodes is only generating 1,242 because, yeah, each ship you get diminishing returns on. Ideally, you want to, yeah, spread them out as much as possible, but I see Spain is there, so I also want to keep them in a position where they can defend themselves because Spain's got a galleon and galleons just won't die. So, let's talk Prussia, because I've got a cunning plan. Now, I could attempt to just push my way into this. I think it would be possible. Looking at the flag, I can see this army is a bit damaged. I don't know precisely how damaged, but I know it's not in great shape. Unfortunately, Hanover is a walled city, or to be precise, it's got defensive forts. So I would be attacking into the walls. And this army is much better at defending a fort than the army I fought outside Paris. Yeah, way more solid, good infantry. And that means I've got a plan, which is, screw your army, you want to stand right there, you stand right there. I see no reason to attack a fortified position. I am just going to go round the outside. Because I can't help but notice down the road, Berlin is probably nowhere near as well guarded. And if I'm willing to go inland a bit, Saxony, no walls whatsoever. Oh, now this is looking better and better and better, isn't it? I will give them, though, they've been pretty good at building walls everywhere. Or, sorry, fortifications. They're not walls, John. They're fortifications. So, yeah, I think we just say, well, I'm not fighting where your army is. Screw you. I'm just going to go over here. Have a nice day. If you want to come and fight me, then you can do it on the bridge. No trouble, mates. So there we go. Just skirt around you. Lovely. I know that army is a bit battered right here. And, more importantly, by any chance, I think I can get a single unit of cavalry, thanks to its increased movement points, over here. Because, yes, navies can't defend. Oh, there we go. There we flipping go. If a land army shows up, a navy is forced out into the open water because they can't repel any land force, meaning the Prussian fleet is now vulnerable to attack by my forces. My forces that I'm about to just top up with one additional brig right there, because why not? So my forces and his are... Okay, his look bigger, but you gotta bear in mind, all of this, about half of it is trade ships. Okay, so low maneuverability, low firepower, barely anyone on board, these things will collapse. And the rest of it, sloops, brigs, more sloops. Even their admiral is only in a sloop. My ships are vastly superior. I am going to shred this thing. Oh, and don't forget my admiral, who is incredibly experienced thanks to the various campaigns that we have waged against the French, the Spanish, the Russians that one time. Their admiral, this is probably his first engagement. Their fleet has just been a hiding in port this entire time. And honestly, it's not even a fleet, it's a trade fleet. They were just wanting to escort these ships somewhere to make a ton of money in trade. And now they're not going to be able to, because I am going to burn this fleet to the ground. Oh, now this is something to see right here. For the first time, I'd say we can actually call our navy a fleet. Alright, this is the good stuff. Alright, on this occasion I'm going to group the fleet so it stays in formation behind the flagship. I'm sending the flute up front. We've got the admiral right in the centre to provide morale bonuses to everyone around him. The biggest ships like the 6th rate and 5th rate are going to be up front. The smaller ships are going to be around the rear. So if need be, they can break off and pursue, board, all the rest of it. But the killers are at the front. No need to worry too much about this, really. All we need to do is dive on top of them as soon as possible. Point blank range, because our ships have got more men. The nearer we are to them, the better, because our marines can also fire using their handguns. So, alright, let's see what we got right here. Everybody just start moving in this direction. Hold your formation, and then basically we just want to get in and among them as fast as possible and just... Oh, this is nice to see. This is lovely to see right here. This beautiful big fleet sailing to absolutely destroy the Prussian bastard. This is for Hanover, you dicks. Oh, and this is nice. They've decided to go for one line. Okay, intriguing. So if they want to do one line, that kind of works for me. That means I can basically just sail right up to them and nail them from every angle you can think of and just sink them straight away. So, oh yeah, there's a sloop up front. 65 men, only 18 guns. So we are going to be turning with the wind behind us. We should be moving into a good position to get a good early strike in. Guys, continue following over here, if you would be so kind. Absolutely love it. So momentarily, yeah, we can just lay down a huge amount of fire and disable the ships at the front of the line before these guys at the rear are even close to engaging us. So our formation is going to work well in our favour. Don't worry about turning to meet them just yet. It's better we actually get some good, nice shots right up the front, up the rear, all the rest of it. So, there we go. Automatic fire means every cannon fires when it's got its best shot. They're already down 6 guns immediately. Honestly, it may as well just... Oh, that's a nice shot right there. We're just firing at the front of them. No ship likes being shot right up the front, and now this guy is going to get a broadside right up the arse right there. He's falling apart immediately. In fact, this guy is already... Yep, he's wavering. He doesn't like it. He's going to be fired at by so many angles, and momentarily, there's the big ship. One just... Was that one of ours or one of theirs? I don't know. Something just exploded. I think I've still got the same number of ships, so I believe that was one of theirs that just went boom. That ship is routing immediately. So, okay, this is why we are doing what we're doing. So, Group 1, I'd say now at this point it's probably fair to... Actually, you know what? Just keep doing what you're doing. It's working pretty well. I'm going to take you guys... Oh, that's a 6th rate. I'm going to take this here little ship, the brig, and you are going to attempt to, yes, pursue. If you can, board this ship. Though bear in mind, we've not demasted anything on this occasion. This guy is just being fired upon from every angle and every ship. So this is, yes, another ship that's lost half its guns already, which is just a bit of a shame for them. Now, some of their ships are turning and trying to figure out what they want to do. But at this point, yes, they're taking a lot of damage. They're going to lose another ship right here. And bear in mind, the Indiamans will be at the rear. They're the flimsiest ships. We're taking out the toughest stuff they've got. Our big, tough ships are now just demolishing these guys. That's the Brommy. Good name right there. Currently already routing as well. The problem is we're not going to be able to track them down. We're never going to be able to get on top of them. So honestly, get back in formation if you'd be so kind. At this point, I'd say, guys, it's time for you to turn and do what you can to these guys. Because now we're well ahead of these guys, and if we want to turn and face them, yes, we're going to need to go into the wind. Unfortunately. This guy might be a little bit exposed, but what can you do? This ship is surely going to be broken off pretty bloody soon. He's steady, but he's already down again. Half his guns. My ships, meanwhile, are looking in excellent shape. All things considered. That ship has... Okay, that one surrendered already. We got near enough, it just gave up. Here comes a big exchange right there. These guys cannot be happy about that. Firing on them with multiple ships simultaneously is a good recipe for them giving up. They just don't enjoy it. And here comes another exchange. In fact, two big ones right there. That's a massive, massive attack. And they have got to be unhappy. Yep, they're routing. They're out of here. That ship's gone too. Love it. So at this point, what are they going to do? What have they even got left? There is one brig. Then it's nothing but the trade ships. Oh, this is just... This is sad. This is so bloody sad. Okay, guys, I think it's time to break formation. So you guys can now ungroup and instead simultaneously all turn in this direction. Because then we should be able to just start laying down the fire on the Indiaman ships. Now, if we can capture these guys, that's going to be the real victory. Because these ships, I can just send them straight off to the trade theatre. Their cost to maintain is almost nothing. So, oh sorry, these guys still... No, they are routing. We're just shooting them anyway, because why not? Flipping target practice at this point. Yeah, that'll teach you to destroy my allies, you dicks. Oh, I think one of their ships just sunk, actually. So while we're just moving into position to take out all the rest of the trade ships, let's just enjoy this for just a moment, because yes, indeed, everyone jumps off the ship, which is unfortunate. Apparently, these sailors don't know how to swim. Honestly, it wouldn't make too much of a difference if they did. It's not like, actually, to be honest, we're supposed to be extremely nearby to land, like just outside the harbour of your own territory. You should really be able to swim there. But no, unfortunately, unlike in land battles where you can see, like, you know, nearby towns and it all looks very realistic in terms of positioning of battle versus nearby landmarks, at sea you're always just out on the open sea. For some reason, we escorted them way out into the ocean before destroying them, and goodbye, small ship. It's a shame we couldn't capture you and then sell you to the sea police, but what can you do, eh? Oh, we're just coming into range now. These ships look big and scary, but yeah, if you actually zoom in, you can see they've barely got any cannons, because obviously they are not fighting ships. All this space in the ship, because it's quite a large ship, is designed to carry cargo and nothing more. So really, they won't be firing more than 6 guns, because 6 aside, that's all they've got. So yes. This looks like the best group over here. There's a handful over here that are just kind of getting stuck on each other. Let's just go and disable them. Meanwhile, back at the sinking ship, that's definitely going down. To be honest, I'm not 100% sure how a ship, like, sinks. Doesn't wood float? So, like, even if you blow up a ship into little bits, it's not a boat anymore. It should just float anyway, right? There should just be a whole bunch of bits of ship that these guys could cling on to, like that bit in the Titanic. But, no. Apparently we made this ship out of, like, not floating wood. So all these guys are going to die. Oh, and in the distance, by the way, I think we're, yes, shooting these trade vessels or something. Oh, yeah, here we go. We're now definitely close enough to be laying down the fire. These things do not have the hulls or the guns to stand up to this, so they are going to be absolutely bloody destroyed. Right, we've had a good shot at these guys. Now time to turn the ships around, get them going the other way, get up close and give them the other broadside, because these guys seem to be trying to turn around to get round to the rear. Honestly, guys, it's not even worth it. You guys cannot do any damage to us whatsoever. So now we're just going to basically go straight up the middle of them and destroy them. This is going to be a massacre. Because the closer you get to the enemy ships, the more accurate your cannons are. So this is, I think, their last actual proper ship right here. One brig that's just being fired upon. Just look at it. It's basically a rowboat, and they've already lost most of their weapons. Unfortunately, a whole bunch of dead people right there, down to half their crew. And because we're going right up the middle of them, we are firing from both directions simultaneously, which is just lovely. Oh, one ship is getting absolutely hammered right there. This is just absolutely lovely. Sorry, I think I left a couple of ships out of the move command right there. So you guys just turn and fire as well. But yeah, the ships at the edge of the curve are being annihilated, already wavering right there. These ships will all fire as soon as the opportunity presents itself. There might be a small collision going on right here. We'll have to flipping see. Sometimes, oh, blimey. Okay, point-blank range fire. Right there, we are sort of ramming back and forth, but good luck taking out my ship with yours. Mine is... oh, yeah. Yeah. Mine's bigger, mates. Oh, yeah, it's starting to happen. They are starting to panic, rout. You've already surrendered because you were too nearby to my enemies. We're getting into a bit of a traffic jam on the sea on this occasion. You guys just turn to make sure you can take out these guys. They're shaken. They're going to be more than that in a second. Alright, it's all over. They're all routing, but we are continuing. All ships have gone over to, yes, chain shot to try and take out the mast, just to slow them down, because I'm not having anyone escape. Alright, either you sink or you work for me. Or you get captured and handed over to the sea police. Sorry, there are actually 3 options, as it turns out. So, there we go. They're trying to rout, but it's too late for that. You guys have got, well, supposedly 43 people on board. They are possibly all hiding below decks. And as soon as we manage to get these guys all hooked up and my marines board, this ship should immediately surrender. As opposed to, there we go. Job done. That was done beautifully. Oh, ho, 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 ho. Oh my. 6 vessels captured. So, I could just hand them over to the sea police for money, but, let's make sure we understand what's what here. 5 Indiamen have been captured. That is a ludicrous, dumb pick-off for me. I love it. I absolutely love it. So, 5 lost, 6 captured, 0 remaining. Their fleet has been destroyed. And if I was right before, they've only got 1 port. If I just keep that burnt down, they can't build any more ships. That's the end of Prussian sea power. And that means Copenhagen is a lot safer than it was before. You know what? I'm having the bloody lot. So there we go. Your fleet can just naff off, buddy. Now I need to figure out, yes, how much of an escort these guys need to make it where they need to go. Because Indiamen are not like flutes. They can't defend themselves. To be honest, they're probably okay to just make their own way. We've got peace with Sweden, so if I just send them to this transition zone over here, though that says that goes to America, that just means if you bring ships here, they appear in America next turn. I can just send ships anywhere through that zone. It just takes them longer to get there. So how about Madagascar? That sounds fun. Especially as I know there are some, yes, Italian fleets in this part of the world. Ah, there's also Prussian fleets here. I don't know how many, but they managed to get some vessels out before I blockaded the port. Probably not much, mind, and yeah, right now I can't see how much, because they've got no port to receive the goods, so nothing's being shipped at the moment. Honestly, the Ivory Coast is probably a good bet, because I can see there's no lines coming onto the central trade spine. Let's just send everything to the Ivory Coast for now. I mean, okay, we're going to completely flood the market and crash the price. In fact, it's already down to 28. But, it's going to be fine. It's all going to be a-okay. Right now, all trade is getting through, apart from Persia, right there. So, yeah, we need more trade goods, because as long as no trade goods are going to waste, that means you could probably ship a bit more too. I will send them with the 1 brig, in fact, you know what? 2 brigs. I will send 2 brigs and that fleet. All by themselves, in fact, you know what? No. As you can only make it this far this turn. Have fun just blockading yet more bloody... John? There's no Prussian trade to blockade. And yes, leave the fleet in this part of the world, because just in theory, if Prussia decide to call my bluff and say, you can have Berlin, we don't care, we're going to march straight on Amsterdam, I might need my ships to help me get home in a hurry. Just in case they do, by the way, let's just get a handful more troops, reinforcements, ready to go. I wouldn't say no to another general either, so let's just get a new guy in play. Yeah, generals tend to start at 3 stars, so that's a free unit of cavalry. He's only 39, that's pretty young for a commander who's just been generated, so okay, treat him well, he could be with us for a while. Yes, and one thing I have done, by the way, given Norway is very unlikely to ever be able to be attached to the trade network, which potentially one day Hanover and Copenhagen might be, yes, over in Norway, I've constructed a proper shipyard. So now I can build 6 rates, and as we actually make this thing better and better, up to incredibly exciting ships. Like the 4th rate, which Brits have been fielding for bloody ages, but what can you do, eh? Yeah, the lucky bastards just get to start off with 1 dockyard, so they can literally build ships that no one else on the map can, to represent Britain's naval power. Still, I can see something from my existing position, which is Berlin is as good as unguarded, just a basic garrison, so yeah. If they decide to keep holding Hanover, and don't fall back in an absolute hurry to defend Berlin, I'm going to take Berlin off them. And once we've taken that, I'll need to find somebody to sell it to. Oh! So, guess who I've been trying to make friends with this entire bloody time, who I think would absolutely bloody love to have some new territory in Europe, and who might actually just have a giant army floating around that I want to not be up in Sweden and instead be down here. And Prussia, if they're not already at war with Sweden, would 100% declare it the moment they need to get Berlin back. Oh yeah, they're not at war yet, but, I mean, give it 2.5 minutes, they don't like each other. Okay, time to see what Prussia does next. We've got Spanish ships just floating around, dealing with various trouble in and around the Mediterranean, and not causing trouble on my trade lines. More Spanish ships. We need to deal with them, and okay, they're sending a small force that's going to displace my cavalry. Fair enough, to be honest, so we're not going to win that. Can I retreat? I can a bit. Can I get in range of my own army? That's okay, that's a bigger retreat than I was expecting. You can stop anytime you want to. Okay, job done. So, yes, they can now repair the port. They're hiding inside Hanover. Oh, now this is just the thing. Oh, bloody hell, there's more pirates showing up. Hang on. Is that by any chance my 1 vessel on the Ivory Coast? Yes, it is. Guys, run. Just bloody run. Okay. Where are the Italian states when you need them? Oh no, the pirates are hunting. Okay, there is a not big, but dangerous enough fleet by the Ivory Coast. So, I mean, it was nice to enjoy that ivory while it was around, but unfortunately, yes, I think the days of that are over for the time being. Though this fleet is... it's very battered. Like, extremely battered. A small force would be able to deal with that. But yeah, the fleet itself is completely unkillable to a basic trade ship, so... sorry guys, you did well, but goodbye. I mean, I tell you what, you did better than I would, because you managed to take out one of them while you were dying. Well done. And more bloody pirates too, attacking... oh, bloody hell. Okay, you know what's going on here, because I know precisely what's going on here. The destruction of France has led to a new pirate island beginning to exist. Martinique is now pirate until such time as somebody goes and stops them, meaning there is now an uncontested pirate port that is spewing out pirate ships, and it's going to keep causing trouble until I go and deal with it. Right, step 1, deploy the army of Dutch Guiana. That can displace the pirates because ships cannot stand up to a land force coming in to the harbour. That means we can repair this, which is going to take a turn. To be honest, this is more about taxes and mines, so we're losing a tiny bit of sugar. Seriously, the economy, oh, it just took a serious knock. Yeah, the complete loss of our sugar trade, that hurt a bit. You know what, with pirates back in the world, I'm going to, reinforce this fleet. So guys, over to Norway for some repairs and reinforcements. All of these guys can be repaired for £1,000. That's absolutely fine. I say that's fine. Okay, I can't afford those reinforcements I just mentioned. Not even close. Oh, and way more exciting, we just learnt military syllabus. That means if I had the money, which I don't, I could build a drill school. And that means all sorts of exciting, new, sexy bits and pieces. In particular, you start being able to pick up more specialised troops that do slightly different roles. Swiss infantry is pretty simple. Basically, remember the classic line infantry? It's that, but a bit better. Better defense, better morale, much better reloading skill. So the DPS is much, much more interesting. But the really sexy ones are the Scots, who show up with the most ridiculous murder abilities you've ever seen. Good accuracy, perfectly decent range, pretty good reloading skill, but let's be honest, these guys are not actually about the shooting. In shooting, they're no better than basic line infantry. What they're good at is murder, alright? You just tell them to charge and they will kill anything in front of them. Charge bonus 14, defense 13, morale 9, melee attack 8. These guys are monsters. Oh, speak of the devil, my 2 trade ships arrived just at the exact moment we decided it was no longer tenable to be inside the Ivory Coast due to excessive pirates. Okay, how about we go to, yes, East Africa. We know there's some Prussians there, but we also know there's a big pile of Italians who will keep the area safe. So, yeah, that's probably for the better. Oh, everyone just arrived. Brilliant. So, my main fleet of actual ships that can fight just rocked up here as well. That's a Galleon. It's not the strongest thing in the world, but, oh, the hull points. The hull points on Galleons are scary indeed. Okay, guys, it's got to go down. Operation Clear the Pirates off the Seas is back on. And once that's done, we need to go and properly sort out the pirates, alright? This time, no mistakes. Okay, form a nice line and make sure all my ships are on the same side. We want to make sure half their guns are neutralised before the fight begins. Go straight over to chain shot. The best bet we've got is use my better manoeuvrability to get around it, knacker its sails, demast it, and then just camp behind it and shoot it in the rear until it gives up, because this thing is scary. Alright, Galleons are scary, scary bastards. Okay, I want to get right up close and personal. I want to turn hard. I want to get some shots right down the front. He has to be demastered. Remember, the one advantage we've got, because we're not winning on firepower or anything else, is this thing can't really move, it can't really turn. It's going to do a lot of damage. Okay, it can turn, as it's demonstrating by turning right now. Let's just get a nice... Oh, that's a lot of firepower! Oh, I don't like that one little bit. Don't like that one little bit at all. Right, guys, just keep on keeping on. We're going to need you guys to be laying down a lot of fire from the rear, actually. Everyone turn a different direction. Alright, I want this thing taken care of. You, if you can, turn into the wind. Yeah, there you go. You'll be a little bit in better position right there. You should be able to outspeed it, ideally. You've got the wind behind you. You are a smaller, lighter vessel. Now, you turn and do the same thing. And just start doing a bit of damage to those sails. Turn and do the same. We have to disable it. It's the only option. You get behind it. We do not want a single line, just surround it. Just keep on knackering those sails. the better you can do in terms of an angle right up front, the better. And just seriously, look at that damage. It's so many cocking cannons. But now it can't fire for a while. This ship's now got a chance to get round the back. So just now, keep on keeping on. And that's going to do something, but honestly not enough. And more fires coming in. Okay, this ship just needs to, sneak up round the back. You're the commander. We're in a pretty good position right now. Just keep on keeping on. How many men do they have on board? Way more. I shouldn't be this close. I don't really want, problems with their crew. That's going to cause issues. Okay, do a hard turn, Oh, you're already wavering. And I don't blame you. I don't blame you. I'm just going to try and get this guy behind. But this was a tough-ass fight. You guys are now approaching the front and the rear, which is good. You're routing. If we're lucky, he'll come back and won't surrender. But we're struggling to do much, unfortunately. Keep on keeping on. But we just can't stay out of cannon range. I need this guy to... That was a good shot. That was good. Okay, you start going in roughly this direction. I need you to be in a position to keep firing. I need you to outspeed this guy, which is going to be tricky. But if we could just disable the sails, ouch, that really cocking hurts. Oh, he surrendered. I think this entire fleet has travelled halfway around the world to lose. Bloody galleons. Still, we do have shots coming in from both sides. We're kind of shooting our own ships here. Bit of a mistake. I should be out of range of some of his cannons. If we turn in a bit this way. If we turn in this way, so we've got the wind behind us a little bit more. Now, the problem is this guy's now going too fast. He's going to be in range of these guys. But, yep, speak of the devil. Right, if you could just tank for your friend, that'd be brilliant. Oh, this is not going to plan. No, this is a complete clean sweep, unfortunately. We've got one surrender. You have surrendered and are also sinking, you bloody cowards. And these guys are doing their best to stay ahead and are not being hit by the majority of a broadside, but we just can't bring down a single bloody mast. They're taking a bit of damage to the mast, but just there's too much health on the Galleon. Basic ships like brigs and sloops are not going to cut it. I'm going to need bloody 6 rates to disable these pirates, so... oh, this is not good. Oh, and there goes the last ship. Straight up exploded. So that was, dramatic. Yes, these ships do have, like, powder magazines and whatnot. So, if you get unlucky, those can get hit and catch fire and then explode. I just hilariously realised I had a flute trained in the nearby port of French Guiana. If that had joined up with the fleet, there's a good chance they might have been able to at least give it a bit more of a fight. But on its own, no. So you guys just go and join the East Africa trade mission. Okay, new plan. Train the smallest, cheapest ship that exists. The trade ship. This isn't supposed to fight and it's not going to. Instead, we're going to go port hopping. So we just bring it round here next turn. Load up the army, move it round here, hide inside Trinidad and Tobago. Move north to Martinique, and then afterwards Antigua. The pirates have to be defeated. They are too dangerous to be left alive. As for in Europe, however, well, as Prussia's decided it wants to, hunker down in Hanover, screw Hanover, let's go take Berlin. Actually, you know what? Berlin does have fortifications, a very small army, together with a decent garrison. Can't help but notice that Dresden appears to be completely unbloody guarded. So, alright, screw it. We'll just go take care of them instead. So, oh yeah, now that's good. There's also some reinforcements coming in from somewhere, but they are very battered, so I'm not too worried about that. Right, nothing too dramatic here. Just one long straight line with cannons in the centre, set to standard ammunition. Let's just see where we've got ourselves... behind us again. Alright, guys. Everybody just turn and deal with the problem over here. If you would be so kind. Just draw yourselves up and annihilate the Prussian reinforcements. Alright, some infantry have started to just trickle in towards my troops. They are going to be shot to ribbons. That's the power of line infantry right there. Meanwhile, I have got a handful of lancers coming up on me. They're going to be a bit of trouble, unfortunately, but after the initial charge, they should collapse pretty bloody fast. Then I can just sweep over with my cavalry to their one cannon. Meanwhile, most of my troops are just going to annihilate this line as they come in. These guys are already running off. No major problem there whatsoever. Here we go. Here comes the fire. These guys are going to be demolished. How are you guys doing, by the way? And why are you not? Okay, there we go. They're wavering and trying to naff off. Good. Take care of this, if you'd be so kind. Now, you may notice, by the way, this cannon is doing something remarkable, which is it's moving. Yes, as you tech up, artillery is no longer fixed in place. Another reason why you do not want to be falling behind on that tech game. Right, final few people coming in, but they should be torn apart. No trouble whatsoever. Yep, there we go. Basic firelock are not going to do the job against my army. Handful of troops lost to passing fire, but honestly, 69 men to take an entire province? I'll take it. So, that's Saxony that officially belongs to me, but naturally, I do not want Saxony. No, seriously, it's not great. I mean, the town is wealthy and the farm is abundant, but there's only 3 sub-regions and another village that might grow at some point. It's really not that interesting. Plus, that would leave me with a border with Poland. Right now, me and Poland get on just fine. If I get too nearby to them, though, they will start getting worried. We don't want that. This needs to be disposed of. And I think this would work just perfectly alongside my normalised relationships with Austria plan. As I've said before, I don't actually want to be allied with Austria. They get in too much trouble from literally every direction. Instead, buddy, how about I give you the entirety of Saxony and you give me a philosophical principle about lands? No, they like their philosophical principle too much to share. Okay, fair enough. You can just have Saxony for free. I don't even want it. Right, there we go. Saxony has been taken off the Prussians. We're just going to slowly starve them out. Also, slight issue that I just noticed on the map there. So, France would appear to be Spanish all of a sudden. Does anyone know how long that's been the case? Deploy the army of the Netherlands down to Flanders. Because I suspect, yes, Britain, as it turns out, could not hold France. Okay, fortunately, the fleet is nearby. If I need to get back to the homeland in a bloody hurry, I can. But oh, Britain, I thought you were going to be able to do better than bloody that. Then again, we did see a giant Spanish force right there. It's not too surprising that it came in and just took over. I mean, rather they had to deal with it than me, I'd have actually tried to, you know, stop it or something. Okay. This is fine. Okay, Spain and Austria are also at war. If we're lucky, they might be attracted to the Austrians as well. We need to get some troops home in a hurry. I'd train more, but my entire wealth in the world right now is 2 gold. And not a huge amount more coming in. I think I got a bit overexcited with some of my fleet building. Alright, Britain, what have you got to say for yourselves? Because you have royally messed up on this occasion. The bloody Spanish are now on your doorstep, and I think this is your fault. Okay, Prussia, what's your next move, given I've just taken one of your cities off you? And more reinforcements, straight at Hanover. Some coming into Berlin, and, oh, some heading north to Copenhagen. That could be a concern. Wait, have I got enough troops? I can stop them crossing the strait. I can basically prevent them from getting to Copenhagen. Send a single ship to blockade the straits, and they can't cross it. And I've just destroyed their fleet, so okay. So, last time you may recall, I mentioned that I was selling France because I wanted to not become Napoleon. Well, what I've just done is I've marched my army east, and it's now vastly too far east, and I need to retreat in a hurry. So, whoops, I've Napoleoned anyway. Sweden, now is not the cocking time! Okay, we know Britain's not getting involved because they've refused to get involved in the past. In fact, last time, they actually broke their alliance rather than going to war with Sweden. So, okay, I guess this is up to just me and them. Okay, bare minimum, my trade fleets have started to arrive in Madagascar. They are sending a good volume of trade home, so that will help out a bit with the economy that's currently imploding, and also the fact we're at war with everybody. Oh, look who's cocking back. It's the giant full-stack Swedish army that wants to take Norway. Change the bloody record, lads. Okay, I've got an agent nearby. At the bare minimum, we can enjoy the hilarity of the fact that, yes, the French absolutely despise their Spanish occupiers, because they've decided the Spanish have kicked out their rightful rulers, the British, who they were very happy with. So, yes, because they were sold to Britain, or rather like given away, they decided that was fine, but the Catholic power that's just come in and kicked out the British, no, they're the dicks. Gotcha. So, giant Spanish army currently squatting in Paris, though they might be forced to stay there for the time being. Paris is not happy with the Spanish invasion. Prussia has dug in Hanover, and I see no realistic way of displacing them without catastrophic losses. My army is miles behind enemy lines in the middle of Prussia, and Sweden have declared war a bloody again, and once more they've got a giant force in play that's going to take Norway, because that's apparently all they bloody want in life. So, okay, we've suddenly got problems. Now, I see potential solutions, but all of them carry risks, shall we say. There are directions we could go at this point, but every single one of them could go a little bit wrong. So, join me next time as I try and salvage this complete utter mess in Central Europe and see if we can restore some semblance of security to the core empire. Hopefully, you join me for that. But in the meantime, I've been John, this has been Many a True Nerd, and this has been Empire Total War. Thank you very much, and goodbye.
This guy's enjoying that. This guy's enjoying his elephant a bit too much. In Fair Verona, we set our scene. Oh my god, Becky, look at her butt. It is so big.
They've managed to glitch inside one of the buildings. Elephants in the rear! And then in comes the chariot!